Now let's take a look at how you can organize your course shell. For the time being, let's ignore what I've done here. I'll show you how I did that in another video. But first, let's take a look at your settings. So in your course administration panel, you would click on Settings. These are the tools that enable you to organize your Moodle shell. This is a lot like preparing your physical classroom before the students show up. So in this center portion are the settings for your course. Make sure that, first of all, the correct title of your course is here. And you can put a short name here. This is actually the one that your students will see when they log in. For the time being, let's skip the course summary, although I'll show you how to do that a little later. You can organize your course into topics or weeks, whichever you prefer. Most people prefer to organize their course by topics, but that's entirely your choice. Then you can decide on the number of topics or weeks that you want in your course. You can select any of these numbers. For the time being, let's select 8 for this course. You can now scroll down to the gradebook feature. If you are using your own gradebook, then you should leave this at no. If you want to use the Moodle gradebook, you should set it to yes. Show activity reports. This is where you'll be able to determine when your students logged in, who logged in, and so forth. I would suggest that for the time being, you leave the guest access set to no. Same with groups mode. We'll deal with that later. You can then decide whether or not to make your course visible. If I leave this to the courses available to students, then students will be able to see your course. They will not be able to log in until you add them, but at least they'll be able to see the course title on the main page. The reason for making it not available is if you're working on the course, but you just don't, it's not ready for publication yet. So you just want to work on it privately and you don't want anyone to see it until you're ready. Then you can leave the availability set at no. Skip everything else. Don't fall into the trap of putting something else here. This is not where you'd put your name. This is where you'd change the title if you had to. For example, when I teach professional development courses, I do this and this. However, most of the courses that you teach will be for your students. So I wouldn't do anything here. Then finally, I would save changes. Notice how we set the number of topics to 8. I can go back and change that if I want. If I make any changes, I have to scroll down and save them. That's it for the basic settings for your course. See you online.